Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak to my husband until he changed the name he put on our son's birth certificate? After waiting for 5 years, I finally got pregnant with my son. There was so much fuss about the name choice because my in-laws wanted to use my deceased brother-in-law's name. My husband sided with them and insisted that we go with it, but seeing their obsession with it, I refused. My husband then sat with me and we agreed on a name we both chose. When I was at the hospital, I had dealt with some complications and I had to extend my stay since I had to get blood transfusion as well. My husband handled paperwork. However, when we received the birth certificate, I discovered that he put brother-in-law's name and not the one we picked. I lost it and had a breakdown, then I shut down completely. I stopped talking to him after telling him that I won't speak to him till he changed the name. He kept saying good riddance at first, but slowly started complaining about how my silence been wearing him down. Days went by. He has now turned to full-on begging me to speak to him over and over. He said he had to do this, otherwise his family were going to shun him. He handed me a paper with all the pros of keeping this name, explaining that our son will be the golden grandchild, and my in-laws will favor him over the other grandchildren because of his name. Said he'll get endless privileges like college fund, car, inheritance, and will be loved unconditionally because he has his uncle's name, but I don't want my son to be brothers-in-law's surrogate. It's sad cause my husband's always seeked his family's approval, but brother-in-law was the favorite. He offered me endless nicknames, second middle name choice, but I wasn't having it. Eventually, he broke down crying last night, calling me stubborn and difficult. Also called me selfish, robbing our son of a good life and good future provided by his grandparents, and said I was driving him crazy with my silence. But I feel like this too serious to let go. I'm just doing it for my son. Am I wrong for choosing this as my hill to die on? Now for the top comments, here's a comment from Cats Are Better 2119. Not the a-hole. If you have more children, how are they going to feel watching their brother be the favorite because of his name? Put a stop to this now. Is there a way for you to change the certificate? Why does your husband have to be the one to change it? Here's a comment from the OP. I really haven't thought about this. I mean, I had concerns about difference in treatment between him and all their grandchildren, but I can't imagine how bad it would be with siblings. You absolutely made a good point. Here's a comment from DDL Smurf. I don't understand how he could fill out the birth certificate without you. Normally, the mother's consent is required. Is this not the case where you are? Edit. Before replying, I understand it's common to let either fill in the paperwork. It's a fine convenience. But that is a separate question from whether the mother's consent is required. If it is required and filled in bad faith, there would then at least be some corrective process in place. Here's another comment from CVanet46. In the UK, if you are married, I think either parent can. This certainly was the case. My mother-in-law's first husband did this with sister-in-law, and 50 years later, mother-in-law is still sad about the name. He was her ex within a couple of years. Edit. Just check the government.uk website, and if married or civil partnered, either partner can register the birth. You might need to show the baby's red book. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my dad and my stepmom come to our baby shower after I learned his new baby's name? Okay, yes, I bet you think you know where this is going just right off the bat, but believe me, it's not what you're thinking. This whole ridiculous story is true and it's really conflicting with my family, so I thought maybe some outside opinions might settle it because I'm still livid and shaking while typing this out. So I, 22, female, was born when my parents were fresh out of the high school. It didn't work out and they broke up pretty quickly after I was born. Around the time I was born, my dad lost his grandmother, who he was super close to, and had lost his dad about a year or two prior to that. So I was named a pretty old-fashioned but very unique name, Helena, after the great-grandmother, Jess, which was my grandpa Jesse, and my mom's last name. Since my mom pretty much got sole custody, I only saw my dad every other summer and some of the holidays. He got married to this nice woman, Sarah. Now that I'm an adult, I visit him a lot more often. Although it's hard to get there as much as I want because I live a state away. So anyway, he had 4 sons with Sarah and they've been wanting on a daughter for years. Everybody gave up and it became an ongoing joke. So I found out I was pregnant around the time that Sarah found out she was too. So I wanted my extended family to be included, so I decided to have a big baby shower barbecue so they can drive up to where I live and stay a few days. I've been trying hard to bond with my dad after all these years, and I really wanted him close during this time, so I asked my mom if my stepmom and I could share the shower. She agreed since she was helping me set it up. So I asked about a gender or name for the baby so we could do a theme since I already know I'm having a boy. I hinted around that a name would be better so I could have a gift embroidered. My stepmother sends me a text with the name she's picked for her new daughter, Helena Jessie. As it turns out, my stepmother loves the name and said she went along with it at my dad's suggestion. I call my dad and he explains that he wants to keep those names in the family and that our names are going to be different because I have my mom's last name and this girl will have his. I tried to argue that it was already used by me and he couldn't steal my name. He wanted to use them again. I literally lost it on him and told him that until they change the name, they can't come to the shower. My stepmother's really upset because she had been really excited for the shower and because she didn't have money to plan her own. And my dad's mad about it too since he already took off work to come. My family's pretty split about it, but my mom's on my side. My uncle's been calling me an a-hole about getting mad at the name since his daughter's middle name is Helena, and I wasn't bothered by that. But I feel like everyone's missing the point. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments, here's a comment from Ms. Megs1492. Not the a-hole. Yeah, this sounds suspiciously like your father wants a do-over. The same first and middle names for two children. No. Edit, your stepmom is an asshole too, so don't feel bad for uninviting her too. Maybe she doesn't know your middle name, but agreeing to give your child the first name of another child the father already has is a total asshole move. Here's a comment from Potential Speech 703. What the fuck is wrong with these guys? I mean, what the fuck? Nobody of them thinks this is totally weird and wrong. Not the a-hole, they are the a-hole. Here's a comment from Blah Blah Blandish. Insanely weird, I just say. Naming another daughter with the same name tells me you don't think of me as your daughter. Here's a comment from Tiger Belmont. I cannot express the utter tackiness of having a baby shower for a fifth baby. It could only exceed it by throwing it for yourself. No doubt any friends or family that threw them a shower for previous children feel that they have enough baby things. If you can afford 5 children, you can afford to buy new things or deal with reusing the stroller, crib, swing you already have. Not the a-hole.